Hello and welcome, my dear friends. Welcome to a review of a very interesting vintage school pen. But this time I have for you Monte Rosa. I bought this and it came in its original box. Probably a product of the late 1950s. We can see the mountain top of Monte Rosa. On the back we have a code, and interesting, we have Grün, which means in German green, 042G. G stands for the gold nib, and F probably stands for the size of the nib, which is fine. Very interesting box. And guys, I present to you the Monte Rosa in green. Actually, this is the sticker price I paid for it. So I paid for it 750 lays, the equivalent of 147.41 euros or 171.71 US dollars. And interesting enough, guys, when I received it, it was in a perfect shape, probably an NOS piece. Just look at the cleaning window. But not only that, I received this with its original instructions. And I want to share you the instructions. It's good that they are in English. And on one side we have this. Let me zoom a little bit on them. So new Mont Blanc of the instructions for use of the fountain pen. If you observe these 4 points, your Mont Blanc will always give you pleasure. So the first point, after filling, allow 3 drops to fall back into the ink bottle by twisting the conical cape K to the left in order to push the automatic ink feeder into operation. Retighten the conical cap by turning it to the right and clean off ink from the entire nib part by dabbing it lightly. Firmly replace the push-on cap until a clicking sound is heard. Tighten the screw cap by turning to the right. So these are the actual instructions for this type of pen, if I'm not mistaken, number 22 or 24. It is recommended to rinse both the barrel and the cap with cold clean water from time to time, especially before refilling with ink. Do this several times and dry the cap well. To take the best care of your Mont Blanc fountain pen, use the easily flowing Mont Blanc fountain pen ink. Okay, and yes, those are the instructions for this type of pen, which is actually also the type of the Monte Rosa. So if you observe these 4 points, your Mont Blanc will always give you pleasure. After filling, eject excess ink accumulated in the ink feed by a jerk. Clean off nib and lower end of pen by dabbing it lightly. Always retighten the screw cap firmly by twisting it to the right. It is recommended to rinse both the barrel and the cap with cold clean water from time to time, especially before refilling with ink. Do this several times and dry the cap well. To take the best care of your Mont Blanc fountain pen ink, use the easy flowing Mont Blanc fountain pen ink. So guys, those are the instructions. And let me show you the wonderful pen. The Monte Rosa was available in different colors. The most common ones are the black Schwarz color. In fact, in the 1950s and in the 1960s, the standard color for school pens were the black ones. So in fact, when you find Montblanc's Monte Rosas in other colors, they are quite rare. So I present to you this green Mont Blanc. It has this cigar shape, characteristic of the 1950s. Very interesting. You can always distinguish Monte Rosa from other Mont Blancs because it has this special ring at the cap that has the tops of the mountains. It represents Monte Rosa. And this one has Mont Blanc with capital letters and Monte Rosa thermically engraved on the cap. No logo here of Mont Blanc. Beautiful gold-plated trim. And if we unscrew the cap, we can see the transparent ink window, a simple grip section, and this is fitted with a gold nib. So on the nib we have Mont Blanc 14 karat, Mont Blanc 585. In the back we see this type of feeder, and of course this is a piston filler, so by turning this knob we can see the ending of the piston. Look at it, so it's not a corkscrew ending, in fact it is a plastic ending. This means that this was made in the late 1950s. So guys, I have two of the Mont Blancs in my collection. One of them has the same message on the cap, so Mont Blanc Monte Rosa. This one is fitted, if I'm not mistaken, with a steel nib, yes. So this was a little bit cheaper than the green one. Let me show you. So let's zoom a little bit on them. Interesting, on the steel nib we have Monte Rosa. So this was a special steel nib made for Monte Rosa. Let's see the feeder. Yes, the feeder is identical to this one. And I have another one in my collection. I know that this one had gold nib, but now it is at the repair shop. Interesting, another feeder like this, but this definitely had gold nib. I can't show you that nib. So returning to our Mont Blanc Monte Rosa green version. So guys, I will leave its dimensions on the screen, and right now I'm changing the angle of the camera because I will do the writing sample. And of course, because this is a green fountain pen, I will use a green ink, but we will just dip the pen in ink because it is an NOS fountain pen, never used. I will not use it, not fill it up with ink, but I think that it will write quite nice. For the writing sample, I have here my Herlitz notepad, Herlitz Germany. And okay, let's dip this in ink like this. Okay. Now I will remove the excess of the ink from the grip section like this. And I'm ready to do the writing sample. So, by the way, guys, this post like this, I will use it posted. Let me zoom a little bit. Okay, like this. So what do we have here, guys? We have Monte Rosa. This is school pen by Montblanc. This was made in Germany in the 1950s and in the 1960s. Let's dip it again. In the 1960s. This version, I assume that it is from the late 1950s and the beginning of the 1960s. Okay, so guys, I have a gold nib. I'm quite curious to see if I have some little flex to this nib. So I don't know if you can see, but we have definitely a little flex to it. Little flex to this particular gold nib. By the way, guys, I have a 14 carat 585 gold nib. A nib from Montblanc. Let me test if we have some line variance. Here I'm not applying pressure. Here I'm starting to apply pressure. And also you can see a little line variance. So let me tell you, my friends, when you have a Montblanc, a vintage Montblanc from the 1950s, the 1960s, it has a very interesting gold nib. It has that little flex, it has also the little line variance, and it is quite nice to use. So it appears that I have a nice juicy nib, and it should do also the signatures quite nice. You can see that. Let's see if we can write in reverse. So reverse writing. So it scratches a little bit, and I will say no to reverse writing. In reverse writing, it writes like an extra fine one, and in simple writing, it writes like an F, which is also present here at the base of the box. So now, guys, without further delay, let me tell you about the forks. So the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. So what can I tell you, my friends? This is a quite beautiful student pen. So back in the late 1950s and in the early 1960s, if you had some money, you could buy this version with a gold nib. Of course, if you were on a tight budget, you could buy the steel version. I think it's no, sorry. You could buy the steel version, this version, fitted with a Monte Rosa steel nib. It was affordable, but nevertheless, my friends, a wonderful piece. Probably back then it was in a direct competition with the Pelican, but a very good built fountain pen, and a wonderful entry by Montblanc in the segment of school pens. Of course, after this model in the 1970s and in the 1980s, they had made affordable pens, But this is an iconic school pen and a quite renowned school pen. This was its review, my friends. Tell me what you think about this green Monte Rosa. What do you think? Did I got a good deal at 147 euros or 170 US dollars? I'm curious about your opinions. I love the fact that I have the box, I have the original instructions, and I think it's a good pen for my collection. Again, this was its review. I hope you've enjoyed it, my dear friends. Have a wonderful day wherever you are, and God bless you all. Bye bye.